So I'm Helene Silverberg. I'm with the voter protection team of the Michigan Democratic Party, and I'm here just to make a very quick pitch. We need everyone in this room to help out for the presidential primary. We're recruiting now for all kinds of volunteer roles, from watching at the polls to watching at the absentee counting board. We need people for the hotline. We run a great hotline that answers voters' questions. A lot of people don't know where their precinct is or where to go to vote. The hotline answers that. We have phone banks that help people whose ballots have been rejected because they forgot to sign the envelope. They voted, but they forgot to sign the envelope. We have a way of helping them fix their problems. So to make every vote count, the M.D.P runs a statewide program of monitoring the elections, and we need everyone to help out. The way to get involved is to register on our volunteer information form, which you can find online at michigandems.com/voter protection. That's michigandems.com voter protection. And the last point I want to make is, why get involved in February? It's not like President Biden is going to lose the primary election. The answer is the voter protection team thinks of February as a good training ground for getting ready for November. We all care so much about November. The idea is, in February, get trained. Do our online training now. Go and be a poll watcher now when the stakes aren't so high. Get the experience. Then volunteer again in August, so you'll be so well seasoned so that everyone will be at the absolute top of their game in November. November is going to be so critical, and we are going to need volunteers everywhere in the state who are seasoned and trained and experienced to know exactly that things are going properly in November. So again, michigandems.com voter protection is where you can you can sign up to be a volunteer. I'm going to be here at the end of the meeting. If you have any questions at all, I'm happy to answer them. Please.
Just a real quick one. You mentioned, like, if someone forgot to sign their absentee ballot.
Yeah.
Someone asked me this the other day and I did not know the answer. Is it a clerk, local clerk, obligated to call or not notify the resident?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. We also get the information as public knowledge, whose ballots have been rejected, and then the M.D.P follows up with Democratic voters. The clerks are supposed to notify the voter, can't always count on the clerks. So we want to make sure everyone that's taken the time to actually vote, that their vote is counted.
Great.
Okay? Please.
My question is actually what you do, voter protection. And I worked with the Detroit Police Department for 10 years, and
Wow.
we were always out on election day, and we had police protection.
Wow.
I've never seen a cop car in this county since 2000, when I came back, that was roaming around watching the vote and watching to make sure that people were protected and that people were safe going to the polls and whatnot, because we ourselves have had some incidents out here
I'm sure.
that there's been no cops or anybody around, and they tell us to go to the police station and file a complaint. What is the state doing to make sure that we have a physical protection?
So we're not the state, we're the M.D.P. And the issue of police cuts both ways. I'm afraid, we've gotten some concerned phone calls about security at the polls, and people are worried about voter intimidation as well. There's going to be a lot of training by the state of election workers on de-escalation issues in case somebody turns up at the polls who's harassing voters. That's illegal. Our poll monitors are supposed to call in anything that looks worrisome. We can call the clerk. We can also call the police if that's necessary. But I think, and many clerks, I know during the special primary, there were some, a couple weeks ago, some of the clerks did send out security to monitor the polls. But again, it cuts both ways, you know. The election workers are protected by law, and if any M.D.P monitor sees something going on, we can call in the police ourselves.
Okay, that's fine that the workers are protected.
Yeah.
What about the voters?
Absolutely. The voters are protected also by law. Sorry about that. The voters are protected by law, and the same principle applies, that if there's anything happening at the polls that looks like voters are being harassed, that their rights are being obstructed, our monitors are instructed to let us know, and we call the police. And we do that in real time. That's exactly why we have monitors at all of the polling sites, all of the early election voting sites. We're there to make sure that every voter can vote.
Thank you.
Yeah.